It's time now for our Wednesday weigh-in with our weight loss coach, Charles D'Angelo. And here's the question. Do you put everyone first and then complain that you don't have enough time to exercise?
I've never heard that from anyone, Christine.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure you hear it a lot. And the reality is that there's some way, shape, or form that you can get that in during the day, right?
Absolutely, if you have a plan ahead of time. But if you don't schedule it, if you don't make it something that's important to you, a priority every single day, your time can evade you, and the next thing you know, a day has passed, a couple days have passed, a week has passed, and then you get into that procrastination mindset of I'll start on this program on Monday, I'll start on this next week, I'll start on this eventually, and eventually never comes.
And you have a lot of clients that are extremely busy, and we talk about Senator Claire McCaskill,
Sure.
who lost, what?
52 pounds.
52 pounds.
And she's kept it off.
And she's a senator who's traveling constantly and is able to do this. So
Absolutely.
if someone like Claire is able to do this, you know,
Then
you
can
need
do
to
it.
find a way to do it. And it's, don't you think that it has to become second nature, like just brushing your teeth or getting out and getting dressed for
I always
work?
say as basic as hygiene, right? Something that you do every single day, and you have to make it something that maybe you pair with what you would do beside the exercise or beside, in other words, make it something that you do along with what you would already do. So when you wake up in the morning, if you get up, take a shower, get dressed, brush your teeth, comb your hair, put on makeup, all that stuff is kind of chunked together.
Right.
So find a way to chunk together the exercise. So maybe you get a treadmill at the house. Or maybe you make going to the gym in the morning part of your routine. You add it to what you're already doing and you compartmentalize that into a block rather than it's something I have to do on top of what I have to do already.
And the good news is that I can't imagine anyone that doesn't get to the place where you want to do it.
Well, eventually you start to feel so good from it. You start to see changes. Your clothes are getting looser. People are noticing. You're hearing all this positive feedback, and you become positively addicted rather than looking at it as something that's negative. You feel so good from what you're doing that you want to keep doing it.
Yeah.
But you can't look at it as the exercise alone. Making time for the exercise alone will get you to where you want to be. Look at all the people that join gyms in January, February, March that don't change their eating habits, and because they don't change their eating habits, they don't see the physical changes they want to see in their bodies or in their health.
Unfortunately, you have to do
So
to do
we
both.
all have 24 hours in a day. Make use of it and plan to at least, I always say, an hour of exercise at most, never more than an hour. And who can't make 1 hour a day, right?
1 hour?
At most. Well, you've been doing it now.
Yeah, but
it's
I
been
have to do
almost
about
3
40 or 45 minutes. But then
But
you
at
know,
the
it's
top,
close
you
to
were
an
doing
hour
almost
by
an
the
hour.
time I do it. Right.
And by the time you get cleaned up and you get changed and everything.
You just
and if
have
you're
to
driving-
plan. You have to plan. And the food you have to plan because otherwise you end up eating unconsciously.
Yeah, and you're not planful about it. Remember, I always say spontaneity leads to spinning out of control. You have to really become strategic in your food choices ahead of time. Don't let the circumstances dictate what you do, or otherwise you're going to be a victim of them. Control your food intake, make time for the exercise, and design the life you want rather than letting life throw all sorts of challenges at you. Imagine if you let your finances go that way. If you say, well, I don't really feel like paying my bills this week, I'll get to it next week. Well, pretty soon people are going to be knocking on your door asking for their money. So you have to be as planful about this as you do in other capacities in your life.
Okay, well, it's good advice as usual. So you can go to our website and check out more about Charles. It's kplar11.com. We'll see you again next Wednesday.